Welcome guys, it's Sid. In this video, I want to give you an introduction to how you can create a GitHub portfolio. So having a portfolio is a great way to showcase all the data work and data skills that you have. It's increasingly becoming common to kind of showcase some of the data work that you do, whether it's in coding, whether you're doing data visualization or analysis. It's really important to kind of showcase that to future employers. And more importantly, because you can't always showcase any private work that you've done. So work that I do in my current job, I can't really capture and showcase to my next employer. I can only verbalize them. So it's important to kind of have a public portfolio of your work. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can create a GitHub portfolio from scratch. But what we're going to do is we're going to use a profile builder. And that will help us produce a profile much quicker. And I'll show you just exactly the kind of different elements you want to include in your profile and how you can make it stand out. So without any delay, let's make a start. So I want to start off by explaining to you what GitHub actually is and what it isn't. So GitHub has been around for quite a few years now, and it's actually been acquired by Microsoft. It's a platform where people can store code and a platform for people to kind of maintain what's called version control. So whenever you develop a piece of code, in order to keep a master version or different versions of your code, you can actually submit your code to GitHub, and GitHub will hold your code almost as if it was some kind of library or public repository, and that's in essence what it is. So GitHub is used to kind of store works that you've done, and essentially you can build up your portfolio of work. So as you can imagine, people who have been adding to GitHub have built up a large portfolio. And this is where the portfolio builder comes into life. So GitHub allows you to create a portfolio and allows you to create if you like, a landing page, or what is known as a Readme page. And this page highlights every key stat and nugget and information about you as a person, as a professional, what you're working on, what you're currently learning, and you can add a whole ton of material here. Now, this essentially has been designed in HTML. Now, fear not, if you're not familiar with HTML or don't know how to write in HTML, there's a really handy template builder, and this is what I'm going to show you today. So what I've got here on my profile at the moment is just a picture of myself, some key stats about, where I work, where I am based, where I'm located, how you can reach out to me, and the title here at the top, a really brief description, who I am, what I'm currently working on, what I'm learning. But this could be anything really. You could add anything here. You could talk about what your career history is. You could talk about your projects that you're working on, which is what we'll cover today. And you can even include things like your certifications. You can even add in your CV if you wanted to. And at the bottom here, I've got links to other things, including my socials, as well as languages and tools that I'm familiar with, that I've got experience with. And at the bottom, this is typical of every single GitHub profile. You'll see details on all the repositories and material that I've published to my GitHub profile. So here you can see I've got a few different folders. These are known as repositories, including one where I store all the data files which feed into which are connected to all the YouTube videos that I've put together. And then you can see in the last year, you can see like a timestamp on when I've been using GitHub. The darker the color, this is essentially a heat map. You can see more activity. So I'm going to show you how I built this profile from scratch. We're going to start off with a blank template, but we're going to use a template builder. So what I want you to do is search for GitHub profile builder on Google. And then you've got a number of different options. There's a popular one here, another popular one right here, but I like to use this one here, this first one here. I find it really clean and simple to use. So what you'll find is a number of, pre-templated kind of sections where you need to populate some data. So here, I'm just going to fill this in and write, hi, I'm John Smith, and and welcome to my GitHub profile. GitHub is spelled with H is spelled with a capital H, and then here you can type in a description of who you are, data scientists, working in the field of, I don't know, robotics. Let's say large language LLMs. Okay, so and AI. And then here you want to fill in different sections, so where you work. These can be anything. It doesn't have to be, I'm currently working on. It could be whatever you like, So here it's already given you some examples. I'm currently working on. You can then fill this in. I'm currently looking to collaborate on. Fill this in. I'm currently learning. Fill this in. As you fill these sections in, I mean, you don't have to have one for everything. You can even put, like, as I said before, a link to your CV if you wanted to. You can even change this, so you could say you can email me on, and then once you fill this section at the top, you can then scroll down and add in your skills. So this is something I really like about this template builder. So here you can tick boxes on skills that you have, or experiences that you have. You can even search for them here. So I don't know, I might want to search for, I'm just going to say Python. You can see here Python, it immediately comes up. I might want to search for Rust, or I might want to search for PHP. Again, you can search for those skills. The more you add, the more, I guess, the more visually, more visually attractive your profile will be. And then as you scroll to the bottom, you can then add a few more sections. So here you can add in your socials. So here I've just put in my GitHub profile name as a starter. So make sure you put in your profile name here. And then what you want to do is add in other links. So I've got a Medium profile. I've also got a LinkedIn profile. I haven't added my Twitter yet, or my Kaggle or Stack Overflow, but you can add them as well. And then finally, just to finish this off, you can add in, a display badge. So here you've got some default kind of widgets that appear on your profile. So you can add like a trophy. You can add like a streak stats. Basically, this kind of showcase how often you're using GitHub. GitHub kind of awards and rewards people who contribute to the platform, and anyone who's adding content on a regular basis kind of gets like these awards and these recognitions, like any social platform really. And then near the bottom you can add support links if you have like a following or a fan base. You can interact with them that way as well. So once all that is done, all you then got to do, if we scroll right back to the bottom, is generate your Readme file, which is essentially a HTML script. So here you click generate Readme. It then will give you some HTML code. As you can see here, you've got a H tags. These are H tags, header tags, if you like. And then you've got all your code right here. So what we want to do is copy Markdown. That copies all your code. And then if you go into your profile here, you click edit. Just before I do that, I'm just going to copy this and put this into a notepad. I don't want to lose my original profile. I'm just going to take the copy here, and then I'm going to paste this into, delete everything, paste this into here. And remember, it was John Smith, who I used as a fictional profile. Commit changes, and there you go. There's your profile right here. So here you can see, hello, I'm John Smith. Hi, I'm John Smith, and welcome to my GitHub profile. I'm a data scientist working in the field of LLMs and AI, large language models. You can see how many profile views you've had. You can see some of those widgets I was talking about before. You can see how many contributions you've made, the longest streak, your current streak, and all the languages that we selected and talked about, all our socials, and then some key stats and bits of information just about you. Now, because it's in HTML, you can actually change this and you can write up your own HTML code. So I'm going to do something here. I'm going to write a new section. I'm going to add a H2 tag and call it my certifications. And if you guys have data certifications or whatever that may be, this is a great place to kind of add them. And then I'm going to add my certifications. I'm going to write my Alteryx certification. I've got a foundational Alteryx certification. Let's quickly bring that up on my LinkedIn profile. I'll quickly grab it. And this is where you can add your, any certifications that you've got. And it's a really nice way to kind of showcase that. So I'm just going to quickly pull that from my LinkedIn profile. Here, if I go into show credential, and there's a URL right here. This is my Alteryx Foundation micro credential. This is hosted on a website called Credly. So I'm going to go into my GitHub profile, and then where am I here? I want to edit and add it here. Okay, so there's a link to my profile. And then if you now go to, you can go preview or you can just save it. I'm just going to save it for now and actually view it in real time. So here you can see my certifications, Alteryx, and here's my Alteryx certification and badge. So fantastic way to kind of showcase your profile, your certifications. You can add anything here really. You can add your projects as well, and this is something I think is really important. So what I'd want to do is go back in here, edit it, and add a section for my projects. And let me show you some example projects. So I don't have any projects. I'm guilty of not having many public projects, if I'm honest. All my experience to date has been privately done by private companies. And obviously all those data projects that I've worked on privately, I can't share them in the public domain. So I want you guys to really make an effort to try and build your portfolio of projects and use them and highlight them on your GitHub profile. So let me show you some other GitHub profiles where people have done exactly that. So here you can see I found a profile belonging to someone called Alexander. Alexander, I think, is based in Russia or Ukraine, and here you can see he's got a brief description about who he is, and he also talks about his writing on Medium, and he also interestingly has uploaded his CV as well. And then he's gone as far as creating a table of contents. Now this is interesting. He's obviously customized his own HTML code to do this. Now, how do you do this? You can actually do this using, obviously you can type it out if you know how to write in HTML, or you can use ChatGPT. Let's load up ChatGPT. So I'm going to write here, write me some HTML code for a table of contents that looks like this. So here we're going to type in opening. We're going to type in, I don't know, I'm just going to make this up, summary, project 1, project number 2, and we'll leave it at that. So ChatGPT will kind of make sense of what it is you're trying to do, and straight away it will give you some HTML code. Now what you can do is copy and paste this code straight into your HTML editor within GitHub, and that will allow you to kind of build a contents page as Alexander has done. So that's a quick way to kind of get HTML edited if you're not too familiar with HTML code. Now if we scroll down, you can see this is where Alexander has really brought to life his GitHub profile. He's put down his portfolio projects. He's put down his video game sales analysis project, and the code is here, which is in a Python notebook. It's in a Jupyter notebook. He's talked about what the project is, some skills that he showcases, the technology he's used. Obviously, it's a Python-based notebook, and then the results. So this is a great kind of layout which you guys can use as well. And it doesn't have to be Python code. It can be Excel. I've seen Excel files here. So here you can see Alexander has published a Tableau public dashboard. Let's open that up and have a look at it. And he's also given a description. And here you can see his dashboard is available publicly. So, and this is interactive as well. So you can actually interact with this and filter and play with the data however you wish. So that's one example. I'll give you another example of another profile. This is another profile by Oluchi. She's gone a bit differently. She gives an introduction and background on who she is and her portfolio, but all her portfolio essentially is sat in folders within each repository. So here you've got one for Excel, you've got one for Power BI, SQL, R, and so on. So that's another way you can do it. Another one I've got to show you guys is Ikra's profile. Ikra has another very interesting GitHub profile. So what Ikra's done is put together all his or hers portfolios or projects, and then linked them. All the code is linked in Google Colab. Colab is an online editor for Python and various other languages. So if we open this up, this is some kind of project involving Pokemon data. We can actually see this is where Ikra has put together all the code. So you can analyze this code. You can even run it if you wanted to. You can copy and paste this code, providing you got access to the data file. And obviously you can see the data files come from a CSV. Now, that's another profile example. And the last one I want to show you guys, and this one is like a very visual way to kind of highlight and showcase your projects on GitHub. And this is one by Priyanka. Now, Priyanka has put together a project portfolio, but this time what she's done is she's embedded images to all of her projects. So here you can see a screenshot of her Tableau project, and you can see she's got a link to her own personal website. You can see the dashboard publicly as well if you open the link that she's provided. We'll wait for that to load. And you can see she's also hyperlinked every single image as well. So if I click into this, it'll take me straight to the dashboard that she's built. This is fantastic because it showcases what Priyanka is capable of in terms of her dashboard skills and her Tableau skills. It's not saying that you guys need to have something similar, but I just want to give you guys an idea on what's possible with GitHub and how you want to visually lay out your profile. As we scroll down here, you can see she's got other projects which she hasn't included screenshots to, but again, you may want to highlight and use visual cues for some of your most interesting projects, and include graphics or even GIFs if you like. So guys, that pretty much wraps up GitHub and what I wanted to show you on GitHub and how you can build a GitHub profile. There is no real limit to what you want to put on here. It's down to your own imagination. If I now view this profile that I created earlier, you can see this is how it looks like publicly. You can change the formatting here. You can move certain sections up or down, but really it's entirely down to your imagination. What I will say is it's really important to kind of get your profile out there now. It's hard. It's increasingly becoming hard to kind of stand out as more and more data professionals join the market. You want to kind of do anything to kind of stand out and make your profile stand out. So guys, I want to end the video at that. Please do like and subscribe for more content like this, and I hope to see you guys on the next video. Take care.